Denver Broncos. This is obviously Sean Payton coming in, probably the single biggest move. I mean, if you want to extend it to coaching, front office additions or subtractions as well. What do you make of Denver's offseason?
I mean, clearly the markets, you look at the betting lines and stuff like that, they clearly have a whole lot of faith in Sean Payton. I mean, they should. I think he's a phenomenal football coach. I think he proved that for a very long time. Can he fix Russell Wilson and all those things? We'll see. Look, they did not have a lot of draft capital. They knew that, so they were aggressive spending. They obviously now have the richest owners in the NFL by a wide margin, so why not? I think they added good football players. Ben Powers, I think, was the clear top guard in the free agency market. I'm not a huge McGlinchey guy, but you know what? You go out and get probably the top right tackle on the market as well. You need to solidify this offensive line in front of Russell Wilson, and you probably go ahead and do that. I didn't love the value of a lot of the moves they made, like Zach Allen as well. I think they're all good players, not great players, and that's kind of just the nature of free agency. That's not an outlier for Denver. That's just how free agency works. But I mean, look, they don't have excuses. Like the roster is solid, and now you have a legitimate coach in Sean Payton. It just comes down to Russ, and if it was mental or if he can get over it and just get back to playing good football.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sean Payton probably has to end up being like your favorite offseason move, right? And it's even fair to count it in Denver's thing because it cost them draft picks. Sometimes
True.
You'd be like, all right, we're stretching it a little bit. They just added a coach or a GM or whatever. But this one actually was a quantifiable move against the traditional offseason metrics because it cost them a first rounder to get this deal done. So Sean Payton coming in to try and fix this project has to be my favorite move. I mean, he's the reason that they've done everything else. He's clearly the guy behind the kind of hard pivot to, let's address the offensive line, let's beef up the run game, let's sort of take things off Russell Wilson's plate because apparently letting him cook did not go well last year.
It most certainly did not. And Sean Payton, even coming from a Drew Brees offense that obviously set records year after year after year, he wants to run the football. He wants to have a committee of running backs, which I think will be interesting. I don't think Javonte Williams is going to be ready in the first week of the year. I know Sean Payton, has said he hopes he will be. I just do not buy it at all. It sounds like he tore his ACL, LCL, and PCL.
Yeah.
Kind of like a J.K. Dobbins situation last year. But you do go out and get Samaje Perine, but I think it's a solid, kind of third down back and can run the ball. We saw that in Cincinnati. But, yeah, so there's still a couple of holes, but I think it's at premium positions. If we're going not least favorite, I like the players they took. But, again, Sean Payton came in and said, we're doing things exactly how I want. And I think you saw that in trading up for Marvin Mims and trading up for Riley Moss. So, look, I like both players. I don't really get why Marvin Mims wasn't talked about more in this receiver class. And then Riley Moss, infamously the white corner, I think is a good football player. Has good size, speed, could make an impact fairly early. Even Drew Sanders, too, the linebacker out of Arkansas, who some people thought could be, a fringe top 50 first-round pick even. All good football players that I think will make an impact. You don't have draft capital, and you're trading a future third to Seattle next year, which just opens the door for Seattle to have another super high pick, from the Denver Broncos.
Right. Yeah, I don't dislike an awful lot that they did. I guess my biggest quibble would probably be just the amount of money given to Zach Allen, a solid player, but not necessarily somebody I would imagine is a needle mover for this team. I think they could have spent money elsewhere and maybe gotten a better player or even just a better allocation of resources. But overall, another good offseason in the NFL and a good offseason for Denver given what they were facing at when they went into it, right? This disaster of a first year of Russell Wilson. They got probably the best person you could have to come in and try and fix that in Sean Payton. And evidently you're seeing the kind of impact of what he's doing to this roster, to the entire approach. B+ for free agency, B+ for their draft, which shakes out to an A- overall.